Hello, Monadnock region, and welcome to Go Mo Tonight. This is our Space Lounge, and I'm your host, Chris DiLoretto.
I'm Zoe Rotenheinsman.
And I'm Sam Abbott.
And we're all here with you today. Thank you for joining us for episode 1 of this new weekly local interest podcast, where we talk amongst ourselves and occasionally bring in a new guest. We used to use this feed for our Monadnock Underground podcast, Underground Over the Air. But we've, since our long absence, turns out variety shows are actually really difficult and super, super time consuming to produce. I don't know who could have predicted that, but since we sort of trailed off from all of that, Zencastr, which we use to record these things, has added video functionality. So that's why if you are one of those people who likes to watch talk shows on YouTube, you are able to watch us today. So this is experimental for us. Hopefully the quality's good and it all works out. But beyond that, we'll be on your favorite podcast app, all the major ones, and we'll be coming at you every single week.
One of the extra awesome things is that everybody's favorite part of our variety show is actually staying in this show, which is when Chris and I, now with the help of Sam, turn our critical eye toward our local paper, the Monadnock Ledger Transcript, and discuss some of the best of their reporting.
Very critical eye. So we are Go Monadnock. We are the new Go Monadnock, which some of you may have seen on Facebook. Some of you may remember it in its prior iteration, run by Kimberly Jeffries Graham, which was a really fantastic local interest site, and she did enormous amounts of work to compile a really fantastic events calendar that our friends over at Monadnock Beat have basically taken on. So, we three are kind of here to sort of fill some of the other gaps in the region with regard to media, and this is one of them. So we're recording this today. It is it's probably several days before you'll see and hear this. It is Thursday, September 30th, my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And what do you think, guys? It's really been a pretty big week, I think.
Indeed.
Such a big week that these guys are exhausted. Especially Sam. Especially Sam. Look at this guy over here.
I felt like Sam was slowly gonna get something out there from the depths of his exhaustion. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah. Well, Sam, in that outtake teaser that our listeners aren't going to get to see, we actually made a joke about the fact that you were missing, and
that's good.
we that I was about to go onto the Facebook page and make a post like, "Has anybody seen Sam?"
He would
But
have
we
just been
found
in his
him, as
bed.
everyone can see. He's
I
exhausted, but
should
we
have
found him.
been. I should have been in bed. Whether I was or wasn't, that's a different story. But
But I mean, it has been a huge week for lots of reasons. But we launched our website today. I don't think we should
Today, against
not
all
mention that.
odds.
What's that?
I said against all odds.
Against all odds.
Mom's birthday is one thing, but us launching the website, that's another thing. That's
Yeah, I would have
Another
bet on
thing.
her making it to the birthday over us launching the website on time today. So not that it's actually on time. We wanted to launch like a week and a half ago, but still, I tend to operate on like Mediterranean culture time, and a week and a half late is right on track as far as I'm concerned. So some of the stuff that we have on our website, we have our voices section, which currently has, I believe, 5. By the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be closer to 8 or 9. Brand new columns from totally divergent writers from across the region, from representing several different towns, several different backgrounds, several different specialties. And what they all have in common is that they're very unique and interesting personalities and characters, and their perspective is the ability to have in one place kind of a nexus of the let's say the crest of the wave of opinion in the region, um, if I can be so humble, is on our website. And we've got a couple other sections that these guys can tell you about as well.
Agricultural exchange, that's one thing that we're working on, is trying to get other farms in the area to participate so that you, the consumer, the listener, can see who has what in the way of produce at any given time, at least in the span of a week.
And
Um,
meat,
and meat, yeah, well, whatever.
all agriculture.
Carnivorous, all things farm.
Yes,
Dairy, perhaps too, I guess would fall and
yes,
fit into that pretty well. And so to
big
have
time.
a central hub where you can look and see and say, oh, that's what I want, that's where I go, rather than just not going to the farm and thinking that you ought to. Now you'll be able to know and go with confidence.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And like
That's
I
all.
said, after Kim kind of took off in her RV, the Monadnock Beat really took over the calendar portion of things. So we're not trying to replicate that again, but we do have an events page where we're highlighting stuff that we see that's going on that we know is awesome or we suspect is awesome. I guess if it's in the future, we don't want to be liable for promises that can't be kept, but we suspect that these things will be awesome and we recommend them highly. Um, and from there, from that place, we direct people if they want a complete calendar or if they want to submit events to a calendar to Monadnock Beats page.
But those events that we highlight, we'll send out in our twice weekly emails on Tuesday and Friday, so you can plan your week and your weekend accordingly.
And if you're a business out there and you're interested in reaching some local people directly, this show is a great opportunity to do so. We will be offering some sponsorship options as well as those weekly emails, which I can tell you, from a mail marketing perspective, have phenomenal read rates, and so we're directly reaching a lot of people in ways that you just really can't do with either online advertising or legacy. So definitely reach out to us. All of our contact info is in the notes for this episode. So we really have a lot of ambitions and a lot of things that we are planning to do, and we are excited to have you, whether you're a farm, or whether you're a consumer, or whether you're a business, be a part of it.
And I think everyone should be extra impressed that we launched this website in the middle of a Mercury retrograde, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
supposed to be
right
like,
at the beginning of it. Like we're like
yeah,
screwed here,
not the middle, the
Um,
beginning. We just jumped
for
right
those of
into
you who
that.
believe in such things, like you know, we're really swimming against the tide here. Like even the heating guy who was at my house today was like, just there were a lot of minor mishaps and delays and confusions that kind of added up. It's just the nature of the time. It's getting cold.
It's getting cold. It's true. I hit 5 red lights in Peterborough yesterday and one passed through. One
Are there
passed
even
through.
five?
Only,
What?
only two. It's only 2 lights. 5 red.
Oh
5 red.
wow,
2 lights. So do the math. Yeah, that was
wrong
painful.
time, man. What was it?
One
5
lane
o'clock?
shut. Yeah, school time. One lane shut down at the four-way intersection. 3 o'clock. Just nasty. Just nasty.
These are the days of our lives.
It's true.
See, I found out that I have Mercury retrograde in my chart. I was born during one, and so this is supposed to be like what my life always is, and you guys are just welcomed into it for a little bit.
Oh,
I feel like
interesting.
that's probably true.
Okay. Well, sorry. Seems obnoxious, you know. Um, like everything. I don't know.
But maybe it's some kind of protective effect as to how we get away with like launching things during them with,
Yeah, it could be
relative
possible
ease.
because see, because it's either protective or you're just used to it because you do seem to have an easier time coasting through these things than I do.
Yeah.
So, um, So that's that. GoMonadKnock.com though. Check it out. Um, Sign up for the email newsletter. Um, and obviously follow us on social media. But we really are trying to gear all of this so that the many people who are getting tired of social media have many options to stay in touch. It's an impulse that I getting off of social media is a vice that I can't adopt myself, but I do understand it. I do understand it. So that's that. But um, so I do come to this episode one with like one piece of kind of bad news. And, Zoe mentioned a minute ago that everyone's favorite part of the program was sort of the banter, the local commentary we would do at the beginning in response to my giant stack of ledger transcripts. Or like, is the proper thing to say ledger's transcript? I never really know. But um, I had this stack of these things because I'm a bad subscriber. Well, so I'm a good subscriber typically in the sense that I stay subscribed, although not always, as you'll soon find out. But I tend to be subscribed, but I don't read them twice a week, and they pile up, and then we wait until we record an episode, really, and then I kind of like, we go through them together. However, However, I regret to say this happened about a month ago, and I haven't corrected it. So I am a guilty party here. But my debit card expired. I have a new one, but I didn't give it to the ledger transcript, and so they cut me off. So I don't have a stack for us to go through tonight. We might have to wing it.
Well, we're all in luck because
Oh,
I've been collecting a stack myself.
unreal! We've got a backup.
We've
We've
got to
got a
back up.
backup set
We
of
we
ledgers
wouldn't want
transcript.
any newspaper lean times, so you know.
Awesome.
The front
All
page
right.
story for today is that there's shortages of everything, but not of ledger's transcripts.
No, we always will have plenty of those. We always will have plenty of those. Yeah, no, that's true everywhere. That's our declining society, civilization here. We can't get our goods anymore. Um, but really though, from a other than the fact that we have to wait an extra day or two for our goods, which like half the people in town think is a net positive anyway, because like, you know, we do have a lot of people here who adopt that whole like, no, like if it's slower and more manual, it's better, kind of thing.
Oh, like
Um,
because like it's better to wait because consumerism kind of.
yeah,
Okay.
slower living,
Yeah.
um, less
That is what they
packaging.
mean by slower living. It's like wait a week for your shipping
Yeah,
instead of
wait for
2
shit.
days.
Just like wait a long time for shit. Let your life go by while you're waiting for packages to arrive that take too long. That's an interesting philosophy. It's a philosophy. I don't. I've never been able to make heads or tails of it, but um, uh, but beyond that, though, I think we all know, even though it's in a sense it's old news at this point, but nonetheless, the continued top story in the region, and this is not just because I am, a Peterborough chauvinist or whatever, but I think this is legitimately the biggest story in the region, objectively speaking, is the scam, the Peterborough scam, where the town was built out of $2.3 million, which you heard it here first, folks, ended up in the coach pocketbook of Karen Hatcher as she on her way out of town. No one wants. There's people who know, and they're not saying anything.
Jesus Christ. Chris, you're going to get sued. You shouldn't talk like this. When I talk like this, I go to court and I get sued, you know?
Okay, we we're going to in the 2022 MU media budget include legal
Liability.
fees,
Yeah, right.
a legal fees line item budgeted in to cover us in cases like this. Um, we'll at least have a few $100 to pay somebody to respond to cease and desist notices in a professional manner. Um, But yeah, I mean, there's just so many angles to this story. We might have to sell the library to cover the money. The new library they just opened.
I heard that the second bridge project already off the table.
We could have had two.
We
We could
could
have
have
had
had
two
to.
bridges, folks.
We were this close.
Yep. And and some of that money was designated for the school district. So I mean, I've heard that some of the classrooms they've cut off oxygen, like where the kids are. They're like kids don't need as much oxygen, so we're gonna skimp on that. That's how we're gonna get the $2.3 million back. I mean, for Christ's sakes, we would have had affordable housing in this town with that money.
We were we were this close to that too.
And if
All
the
our
town
dreams.
administration gave a shit about Peterborough, they would go to fucking Russia and get it. They'd get the money back.
If the Did you say the Obama administration?
No, the people here,
Oh,
the administration, the town administration.
down.
This is
Yes.
why they should be fired. They're not accountable. Not only have they not apologized loudly enough for me, but they could have gone to get the money themselves. Why are they relying on the Secret Service? They don't love this town enough.
See, I thought you were going to draw some lines between Karen, the Obamas, thought this was a bigger thing you were uncovering here.
Well, we don't know.
I mean, we don't.
Nobody's ruled any of that out. Really. I mean, and part of that is because they won't answer our questions. And, for anybody listening that doesn't understand, this is sort of what it's like to wade into the muck on any given post about this topic in our esteemed Peterborough town Facebook group. Because the howling about this rather unfortunate issue is still at this point at a fever pitch. If no one talks about it for a couple of days, someone posts another post just to be like, I know this has been talked about before, but I'm mad.
Remember this?
And, I've been doing my thing where I yell at everybody, and I haven't been kicked out of the group again yet. But that's happened before. Other times when the mob has grown hysterical, and I have my graceful side has not prevailed in some of those instances, and it's hard for it to prevail right now because people are very bloodthirsty. They really do. There really are people saying that we should basically get rid of all of the elected officials and all of the professionals, all the bureaucrats, which, I mean, seems like an interesting way of making sure the town is run well, is to make sure that everyone who runs it is gone. I you know I don't know how this is supposed to work. I mean, people do seem to think that there are just like all kinds of people with masters in public administration who are just like, God Almighty, that little town in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, that's far from all highways and most things that I would want to do, where all the residents are frothing at the mouth, and want to basically execute their current town administrator. Please let me work there, and in fact, I will work there for cheap. Like who are we gonna get for this? I mean, are you guys pissed? I mean, Sam doesn't care. He doesn't pay taxes in
Yeah.
Peterborough.
Yeah, I was gonna see what Sam's more
Sam,
measured take
What are they
is.
saying over the mountain, Sam?
Sam lives in Temple, so I love Peterborough very much, and I'm grateful that it's there. And I
We're all glad it's
like
there.
I love that it's there. I really do, and I love that it's next door. And I spent a lot of time in Peterborough, and I happen to work, a lot of the time in Peterborough, and I like
Half
to.
your time is at the stoplights, but
Well,
the
yeah,
other half.
that's also true. But when I'm not screaming and flailing my arms around at the stoplights in the center of town, I do a few things. But the running joke with myself is that Peterborough it's a good town to visit rather than a good town to live in, because the property my
Those are
property
fighting words
taxes
around here.
are a lot lower, and the quality of life is still rather high, but I do get a real satisfaction out of watching the conversations in the Facebook group, and watching Chris kind of say the things that Chris says. And it's vicarious pleasure. That, given my, my role, I can't really partake to the degree that Chris can, and so it's fun. It's fun, but it's serious. It's serious stuff, obviously. And I don't want to misrepresent that, but at the same time, people are very mobby. It reminds me of what's the story?
The
It's a
lottery.
Hemingway story. No, it's the one in Spain. Oh,
I hope there's somebody out there who knows what the lottery is that gets that joke. But
it's the lottery. It's just mob mentality. People get really angry and like work each other up, and it's kind of sick.
no, it is, and I've seen other people try to make the argument that, like, excuse me, these people just need to vent. They're upset and all that stuff, and like I get being upset, and it's okay to be upset when something bad happens. But I don't know why no one seems able to like hold together at the same time in their minds the idea that they are upset about something, and that like there might be no way to actually make it right, like, because like, or like in this case, for example, rather glaring example, but like we can't get the money back because it's gone. They're trying to get as much as they can from insurance. They've gotten like $500,000 back. They think they might be able to claw back some more. Sorry, we'll get some of the money back, but whatever we can get back, people are trying to get back, and whatever they can't get, nobody could get. None of the other people who want to replace these people, right? So like we lost money. It's gone. It happens sometimes. I mean, have you ever lost? I mean, I've lost money before. I mean, like sometimes
Yeah.
you just, you leave that $100 bill rolled up in the bathroom. Just kidding. No, no, that's I don't mean that. But we've all dropped money on the ground or something like that. And
Or you do something stupid, and
right,
you spend more money than you should have, and you realize it later or whatever. Like, it's a terrible feeling, and it's something you just have to get over.
right. You bought something expensive and then you dropped it immediately and it smashed and there's no insurance on it or whatever. You
You
know what I mean?
dropped your
Like
brand new phone in a lake the day after you got it. Some of us have done that.
But it's
it's
$2.3 million.
yeah, but I mean, out of a budget of like I think 54 million, or maybe 54 million is just the school. I mean, I can't remember what the exact numbers are,
It's a
but I
lot of
mean,
money. But I mean, it's
it
all relative. I think that's the point, right? Is
that's
that
what exactly. It's all relative. You and
it's
I
not like, oh
can't
my
do.
god, for me that's a lot of fucking money. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, well, no shit, that's a lot of money. But for a town, I mean, not to
yeah.
say that it's not, but it's
It's
all
like us.
relative,
It's like us losing a couple $1,000. Like
right?
it's bad.
It's a hit.
I really don't want to lose thousands of dollars. But it's not. It wouldn't be the end of my life. Like it would. Like the world would go on as it's going to go on in this situation. But the other part of the not being able to make it right thing is just that, like, firing everyone, especially people who really couldn't have prevented this. Um, it satisfies this need for vengeance that I think is tied to this need for things to be right,
Yeah.
but it's not logical though, because like these people aren't directly responsible for what happened, and everyone's like, but they should have done the training, but like there actually was training. There was training and there were policies, and it happened anyway. Just like it happens all across the country every single day to bigger and more sophisticated organizations than the town of Peterborough. Um, and so it sucks, and you do fire the people who did it. That's normal, because there was a procedure in place and they didn't follow it. You don't kill them. There's some people who really want to hunt them down, and like I've seen at least half a dozen people say that they need to pay the money back. The accountant, like, we could look in the budget and see what that accountant made. I can't imagine it's much more than $50,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like,
They want to destroy this person's life.
Are they our indentured servant for 25 years or something like that? Like, do we give them room and board? Like, I don't. I just don't understand how you could even say something like that. They lost their job, and that's shitty um, for a person. So I think that's an adequate pint of blood.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, especially if they live around here.
no kidding. Yeah,
Completely
no
vilified.
kidding.
It's like fucking Scarlet Letter, right? You can't. I
Yeah,
mean,
right. Being shamed and like everyone hates them. Like if you're out there listening to this, I don't even remember your name, but I don't hate you. You made a mistake. Could have happened to me, and I hope that people treat you with compassion,
Yeah. Cheers.
unlike they're doing to
Mountain.
everyone out there. It sucks. Um, people are. I'm trying to figure out my. I intended to do this like literally 3 weeks ago, but I'm trying. I'm in the process. Zoe knows this, and of trying to figure out my own first column for our voices section on Go Monadnock, and like I still don't know exactly what I'm writing, but it's like something right along these lines, though, about the fact that, like, man, like the whole last couple years have made everyone just absolutely mad in the worst possible ways. And like the way that we approach the society is broken, in ways that, like, even as I make half serious jokes about civilization falling apart, some of this is the onus is actually on the people, because they're simply refusing to engage with reality. I don't know.
I can't let this moment pass without acknowledging that Sam's um, redo of the town motto has removed it ending in a preposition, which bravo. Bravo, Sam.
You're right.
Also a very
Good town to
contentious
visit.
topic.
Good town to dip into and leave. No, I actually love this town.
No,
People
me
who
too.
listen to the show might think otherwise, because I will lampoon it in a lot of ways, but like I am here by choice. I'm not from here. And I do love it here in a lot of ways, but I expect much. With with great power comes great responsibility. No, just kidding. There's no great power here, but I just wanted to. Well, that's what Uncle Ben said. Who remembers? So as
The
long
rice
as
guy?
what's that?
Uncle Ben the rice guy?
No, Peter Parker's uncle, Spider
Oh,
Man.
okay. Spider-Man. Okay.
Part of the mythology. It's part of the Spider Man thing.
gotcha.
When you say Uncle Ben, I was just picturing the rice
No, no,
man.
no. That Uncle Ben is
He's
gone.
gone, isn't he?
He's gone.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is the Uncle Ben that gets to stay.
Is he gone, John?
Well, yes, that Uncle Ben is gone. But Peter Parker's Uncle Ben is dead, but he's not gone.
But he remains.
The Rice Uncle Ben lives, yet is gone.
I'm glad we got that cleared up.
The
Yes.
divergent
I would
paths
have
of
just let it
Uncle Ben
slide. Zoe had to
or Uncle
clarify.
Ben.
Now I really know what we're talking about. That's good.
Exactly. So, what's in the newspaper?
What is in the newspaper?
I heard
Well,
they covered the literary event from last weekend.
they did. They covered the Monadnock Literary Buzz. There's
They
a
didn't
nice
take our
picture
picture
here.
though.
What's that?
They didn't take our picture though.
No, it's a picture of. Can you see this picture? Everybody but us, really.
I
Nice
can't, but maybe somebody
room full
can.
of authors at the Peterborough Community Center.
Yeah, it was a nice event though. For those of you who didn't make it, try to keep it in the back of your mind for next year. We had like 25 authors signing books and selling books and chatting it up with the crowds in the community center last Saturday morning.
It was
It
fun.
was a joint event put on by mainly driven by Bill Chatfield, our good buddy down at the other end of the road for me, guarding the other end of Old Dublin Road for the time being till he moves. Peterborough Poetry Project is his operation, and they put it on along with Monadnock Underground, the Town Library, Toadstool, and again with a good number of really interesting authors.
Yeah. Next time, hopefully, the library will be able to be there more because I think they wanted to, but they were busy opening and
Yeah,
moving their books over. I still
opening
I
that
still haven't
magnificent library.
yeah, I still haven't been there.
Are you
I just
serious?
I'm
Have
serious.
you
I
been there,
keep
Sam?
What's that? Have I? Of
Have you
course.
been to the library?
Yep, we went.
the new
Oh, good.
library?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to wait till there were books. I don't know.
Yeah. I
That
didn't know there
seems
weren't
crazy.
books until I got there, and there weren't books, but there were
It's
a few
like the
books.
goddamn Parthenon of Peterborough.
It's beautiful. I mean, they're like new little grass is lovely. All the outside parts are lovely. Can't wait to see the inside full of books. I'm gonna wait till they're done with that. I
Yep.
think they were supposed to be done with that today, so any
Yeah, I
minute
think I
now
saw
I'll go.
pictures. So I think that they're in good shape. And yeah, we are hoping, as if hopefully one of our first guests on this program, we're hoping to it would be a pretty big score, but we're hoping to grab a few minutes from Corinne Chronopoulos, the esteemed library director, who has really done a tremendous service for this town with a lot of help. But I mean, it was really her leadership that made this grand feat accomplished here.
Yeah. And
Um,
she's been such a good supporter of Monadnock Underground too. She's just
yeah,
great.
well, pre-pandemic, we had events there every time we put out a release, and we've really missed that.
And if not her, maybe we can get Charlie on.
Maybe we should get them both,
Oh my goodness. That
and
would
not
be
at the same
amazing.
time either, because
One's computer might explode.
that's what I'm saying. There's too much glow. You can't put two suns together like that in one 45-minute podcast. It's they yeah, two very impressive people.
All right. So back to the ledger's transcript here. We've got a really incisive, informative front page story here from Tuesday, noting that it rained a lot this summer. In case in case anyone missed it, it rained a lot.
Really?
It did. The highest total precipitation for any July in New Hampshire history since statistics were recorded.
I mean, I guess I didn't know that it was a record breaker until reading this, so that is in some small way news to me. But like, yeah, it's like that. Putting that on the front page is like the worst of both worlds because I'm already mourning as we head into fall. I'm like, please, summer, don't go. And then the paper's like, yeah, well, the summer kind of blew anyway, didn't it?
It's true. They should have waited a little
I mean,
longer.
August
So
was fine, but like it wasn't a proper summer. Like in the normal proper New England way.
It did rain an awful lot.
Too
did
much.
it?
Yeah, well,
Too
in
much.
case you didn't know.
I haven't read this whole article yet, so
You don't know how it ends.
you know
Maybe they snuck something important in there.
Spoiler
they
alert.
certainly did. We've got a quote here from the public works director for the town of Peterborough, Seth McLean.
Oh, our good buddy Seth Bag. What's he got to say?
So I will read his quote here. Damages from the two heaviest rain events in July totaled over $200,000, primarily driven by the cost to rebuild and reinforce a significant portion of Old Town Farm Road.
Very
Thank
well
you, Seth.
spoken.
Well
Very well
spoken.
spoken.
Yeah, well. I wonder if it was
Ever
a
since
written
that one
quote.
time Ben Conant got him to like give him a quote about a Balrog under the ground, he's been very, very careful about what he says to the
Oh,
paper.
you've really got to read this article because he gets like two whole columns worth of quotes. I could go on about upsizing culverts and pipes. Seth has some good commentary here.
You know what? Let's save that for some time when we can get Seth on the show. He's probably never going to say yes to coming on this program, but
I'm going to
almost
cut that out.
he almost definitely will not say yes to being on this program. But We're going to save the public works details for the hypothetical day when we can somehow entrap him into a recorded conversation and hope he does not prosecute us for a felony.
We should wait until we have our legal fund, but I will
2022. We
save
will wait till
this.
January at least, till the budget kicks over. Our massive budget that we have to allocate each year. That's why we have so many 3 or 4 lawyers on retainer. We're gonna have.
Big plans for 2022.
Okay, if we hit our targets, everybody gets a $65,000 watch or 2 accordions.
All
Which
right.
I don't
So
know if you knew that. Zoe, I told Zoe this, but Sam,
I just didn't hear it at first.
the do you know how much an accordion costs?
No.
Because I
Half
just
of the
out of the blue the other
$65,000
day, I was
watch.
just kind of like, we need to get someone in our circle to learn the accordion.
I have a
We
guy.
need.
You
What?
have a guy?
I have a guy locally. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Actually,
Because that's
Is
what
it
you
an
need is a guy
accordion?
who already has an accordion.
yeah.
Is it an accordion or a concertina, though? This is important.
It's always referred to as an accordion. So
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know if
probably. I mean,
straight
you
from
can tell
this.
the difference.
Yeah, I mean
Big square fucking thing, right?
it's a real. Oh yeah, he goes to
Yeah.
town on it. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And then I found this other guy. These are high mowing folks, right? Found this other guy we know that he's the world's most interesting man, but then also on the side without telling anybody about it. He also plays accordion. I'm like, how many fucking people play accordion?
Wow.
Two
All
of
right.
them. It's unbelievable.
I'm glad I brought this up in that case because we do occasionally have use and need for an accordion player, but accordions. So for like a dirt cheap accordion, it's like $1,000, like dirt cheap. Like for like a used normal accordion, it's like 10 grand. And like kind of like your middle of the road accordion is like $30,000. It's like buying a goddamn piano.
A very nice piano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a grand piano from Steinway or whatever, yeah, it's nuts. I had no idea. Um, and then I was like, geez, I was like, I thought, the point of an accordion was to like be like a poor man's organ, and I was like, well, how much is an organ? So like a dirt cheap organ is like $60,000. Like a dirt cheap, like bent up, busted, used organ, pipe organ is like 50 grand. And like a normal church organ is like 180, $200,000. Yeah, stuff's expensive.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
wonder
at
if this
bonus time.
ties in with the whole inflation thing we were kind of touching on earlier, having to wait for services and things like this. Maybe
Maybe. I mean, maybe because I only Googled this after supply chain shortages,
probably to do with that. I would think. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not sure.
But the point is, at bonus time, you're gonna have a really hard choice to make.
Yeah.
Do you want 2 accordions or a watch?
Yeah, didn't we
And
throw a banjo in there somewhere?
yes. So you could choose a banjo and an accordion, but Sam will probably pick 2 accordions because he's got those 2 friends. So it's only logical.
Oh, if it was going to be gift time, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, or he can say, screw the accordions. I know 2 people with accordions. I'm getting the watch.
Well, that's kind of my train of thought.
We'll use their accordions that they already have. They don't need new ones.
That's true.
I need a new watch.
It just seemed to fit in some way. Like,
yeah, I think I see
made
where you're
logical
going
sense.
with it. I think I see where you're going with it. All right, we've got time for one more story before we wrap it up from the newspaper.
I have a brief one from Francistown, where I used to live until I moved to Peterborough. There's a paving scam, so they're suffering under the wrath of scammers as well. And their scam is that a black pickup truck, unmarked, is going door to door and offering to dump asphalt on people's driveways.
I think I heard about this.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be like, they were presenting it as, we're going to pave your driveway, I guess.
Yeah, then they extort payment out of you.
Oh, Well, it seems like the person in Francistown was like, this sounds fishy, and they didn't fall for it. That's who we could hire to run our town.
Yes, the person immune to the scams. Yeah. No, that's just like a really aggressive like New Hampshire version of the whole like like people walking up to your car in the city and like washing your windshields and being like,
Yeah,
"How
yeah.
come you won't pay me? I just washed your windshield."
No,
Like,
no, but this resident who was like, no, no, I see this scam. That person
no,
needs
no,
to
I
run
know, I
our
know.
town.
I'm just
Okay.
saying like this. I'm
I
just making
thought
the
you were
connection
trying
with
to get
the.
the asphalt scammer to run our town.
No, but maybe we could use him for something else.
Maybe we could.
I don't know, but obviously, if this person didn't fall for it, though, he should take lessons from Karen. Take the money and run. Um, yeah, well, so I mean, behind every great town is a great scam. I think Oliver Wendell Holmes once said. Um, so, um, so it goes. But it is interesting that we bring up Francistown because one of our first columnists in our Voices section is Kayla Law, who is a noted Francistown resident, is our current, basically our liaison with the happenings in Francistown, and has written a very nice essay called "The Tale of Two Snakes," um, that is really sort of an ode to some of the things that make this area, and in some cases Francistown specifically, unique and valuable in ways. And so it's a good example of what we intend to provide in our Voices section. We would like to have someone like that in all towns, and we welcome all kinds of different perspectives. And we might be looking for you.
We would
We've
like
got a
there
bunch
to
of
be
people lined up.
also a
What's
great
that?
writer behind every great town,
Yeah,
as
I
well as
agree.
a scammer.
Exactly.
Writer and
And
a scammer.
especially around here. Yeah. Yeah. So reach out to us. Again, contact info will all be in the thing. But we're kind of here to bring you um, the best of the thought and the voices and you know the vision for the future that we may be able to find amongst ourselves if we set ourselves to the task. And on that note, um, I just want to say, as a motivational conclusion here, earlier tonight we went down to Townsend and had some Chinese food for my mother's birthday, and I just want to share this fortune that I received to get you guys to kind of give you guys an example of the mindset and the attitude, the ambition that we have here at Gomonadnock at MU Media. It says, I wish I got more fortunes like this. It says, people try thing because they just don't want it enough. And I think that's true. So I encourage all of you this week and every week to go out there and get it. You may find your dreams behind the next cloud, a few bends around the way.
Follow
We'll
some
see
good
you next week
advice.
with more where that came from and maybe some guests. Until then,
Until then,
this has been GOMO Tonight.
we did it.